I'm taking tomorrow off, actually. I'm getting ready a long weekend for the big Super Bowl week. You know how I feel about New England and Brady. And you know how I feel. In fact, I'm fairly obnoxious. I understand that. It drives many of you crazy. But aren't you happy I at least like the best quarterback of all time and I don't talk about Andy Dalton every day? So here's the thing. In our lifetimes, Michael Jordan is considered, like the greatest athlete ever. But if Tom Brady also wins his 6th Super Bowl, I got to be honest with you, it's only a 2-person conversation now as the greatest team athlete ever. I got to be honest with you. I thought about this a lot last night. Brady wins his 6th. He's the greatest team athlete ever. Because to be the greatest, you have to beat the greatest. Wasn't that always the knock on Tiger Woods? Hey, Jack Nicklaus had to beat Arnold Palmer and Gary Player, and you listed all those great golfers, and you always criticized Tiger Woods. Who did Tiger beat? I mean, Phil Mickelson? Sergio? I mean, who was really great? That was always your criticism of Tiger. To be the greatest, you got to beat some greats. Ali beat Frazier, Foreman, Norton. Mike Tyson couldn't beat Holyfield or Lennox Lewis. He beat Trevor Burbick and an old Larry Holmes. To be the greatest, who did you beat? Tom Brady beat 2 teams. The St. Louis Rams, who already had a title, were on their way to a dynasty. Brady ended it. The Seattle Seahawks already had a championship, on their way to a dynasty. Brady psychologically and physically ended it. They were never the same after that loss. Peyton Manning and the Colts on their way to a dynasty. Tom Brady never let it happen. Michael Jordan beat Utah twice in the finals. Even when he retired, they couldn't get to the finals. He then beat Portland, Phoenix, and Seattle. Those group of players never won titles, and the Lakers team he beat, Kareem was done, and Magic was done right after that. Michael could never get past the Pistons and the Celtics when they were in their prime. Brady went into the teeth of that Seattle defense in its prime and owned it. And into the teeth of a St. Louis dynasty in its prime and beat it. And in the teeth of Peyton Manning, many consider the greatest quarterback of all time. They do, many. And he never let the dynasty become a real thing. Brady also won Super Bowls in a sport with regulated violence. He didn't have Gronk one year. Edelman, Hightower, players constantly hurt. And Brady's also done it for so long. Michael's reign was 91 to 98. He also had a 2-year gap. He retired. Tom Brady's been dominant for 17 years. You know what Michael has? And he'll always have it, because basketball is a global game, and it celebrates and encourages marketing and star over team. Michael had Spike Lee and Nike and Be Like Mike and the logo. And we all know that marketing manipulates people. That's why we buy products, right? Commercials. That's why we buy certain things. Impulse buys at a grocery store. We go to certain coffee chains. It's advertising. It's market manipulation. Tom Brady has only gotten big in marketing in the last 12 months. Jordan's career, formed by Spike Lee and Nike, have made him a global icon. And there is so much mythology with Michael. Just think about this. Can you imagine if Tom Brady retired twice in the middle of his prime? Once because of gambling rumors. You wouldn't hold it against him? What if LeBron retired after Miami to take a break? Wouldn't hold it against him? That's what marketing and mythology create. You forget about the holes in Michael's game. When Brady wins his 6th, he'll have beaten and ended dynasties. Michael beat the Utah Jazz twice. Tom Brady ended a Seattle dynasty, a Rams dynasty, and a Peyton Manning Colts dynasty. Michael Jordan beat a bunch of teams that even when he left the sport could never win a title. Hell, Utah's so good. By the way, MJ struggled against Utah in both series. Oh, Utah's so good. Then why, when he retired, Utah couldn't even get to the finals when MJ was out of the league? Now, who did he beat?
But here's my point. You're proclaiming this about Brady now after he beat Mariota and Bortles.
This is one.
No, I'm just saying that this is what you're proclaiming after this road. The problem with Tom Brady should probably have a toothache from all the cupcakes that he's faced in the AFC least to get there. Every year it's always a cakewalk, because he's already got 5 or 6 wins before the season even starts.
Oh, that's
because of Miami and Buffalo and the Jets. Yes, it is.
No, this year, correct me if I'm wrong, John, the AFC East actually as a division, I think, had as many wins as any other division.
Oh, this year. But I'm talking about historically. And the other part is what you miss with Michael Jordan. It's not who he beat. It's who he denied. Can I give you a list of Hall of Famers who didn't win a championship because of Michael Jeffrey Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay? You got Reggie Miller, Clyde Drexler, Patrick Ewing.
Clyde Drexler played no defense, and Reggie Miller weighs $140.
Stockton,
Malone's
Peyton,
a choker in the playoffs.
Look at all these guys.
Peyton couldn't use his left hand.
All
Those guys don't
guys
deserve.
got denied because of Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Flawed.
Do not put these guys, Michael and Brady, on the same plateau.
And by the way, I love Charles Barkley, but Charles Barkley, a terrible practice player.
And Barkley.
But Barkley didn't win titles because Barkley was an average defensive player. Charles Barkley would tell you today he's a better broadcaster than player, and I loved him as a player, but Jordan didn't put.
But I just gave you a list, Colin, of Hall of Famers.
Big deal. I can get Peyton Manning's the greatest quarterback in some eyes ever. Dynasty with the Colts never happened. Big Ben held out. Seattle held out. The Rams held out. You got to beat somebody great to be great.
And the other part is, which you're poo-pooing and discounting, is the history of the Patriots, which is built on cheating.
Oh, good hell.
And I'm going to tell you, it is. Ask Eric Mangini, who was a part of that organization.
Okay, are you going to tell? Are you going to tell me if you're going to tell me that Michael Jordan didn't get? I mean, Tim Donaghy came out and said we were told, if Michael misses a shot, it's a foul. You don't think Jordan got gifts from the officials for his people worship Michael Jordan?
Did Michael Jordan and them cheat and look at
what is that?
Defensive signals? Who does the defensive signals help if you know what defense they're playing?
I'm about ready to give you a big signal.
Who does that help?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.